It's that time again. It's time to talk about Foodie Beauty and discuss all of her toddler ways. Now, let's start with probably the most exciting thing that happened in all of Foodie's live streaming yesterday. Salah showed up in the chat. Of course, because her payday's coming up fairly quick here. And, so we got to listen to the, oh, hey, sweet love. Do I look cute, sweet love? Come to Canada, sweet love. Just over and over calling him sweet love. And you notice when she talks to him, her whole tone of voice changes. She tries to be so demure and soft-spoken and, even says she's going to get rid of the scooter and start walking more. We know that's a lie. But anyways, Salah left a comment in Foodie's chat, and he is asking for money now. Yes, he is. He said, and I quote, he said, anyone want to have a good business investment here in Syria? And I can help you guys to get it fully perfect papers and rent them will be good deals here. I don't quite understand. I understand he's asking anyone wants to go in on a business investment here in Syria. He can help us get fully perfect papers and rent. Them will be good deals here. So Foodie doesn't offer any kind of explanation for this. She just kind of giggles about this. Doesn't offer any kind of explanation as to what he's trying to do, what these investments would be towards, or anything. She just does tell us that Salah did go to university for business. She has said that before, but that's a little iffy. We're really not sure that Salah ever did go to university. She explains that it's over in Syria, things are very different. You just can't go and get a job in Syria, so people open businesses. Now, I don't understand that because not everybody that lives in Syria would have money to open a business. So there's got to be ways to get jobs in Syria. And she's explaining, like buying a slush machine would be a great investment for during the summer. And she tells Salah she wants to get a slush machine because she thinks that would be a great business in Syria. Oh, Lord, do not take business advice from Foodie, Salah, please, please. I mean, I'm not sure his business dealings would be much better, but they got to be better than Foodie's. She goes out on the scooter, just scooting, as she says. She again goes under that overpass, stops, sets up the camera once again, rides by, waving at the camera. She thinks this is so cute, her riding on this scooter and us seeing her ride on it. I don't understand. This is about the third day in a row she's done this same nonsense. So she's going clear down this bike path. She can't understand why there's a truck on this bike path, but then you see it turns off onto a side road, and there's probably some sort of business down there. But she just can't understand why a truck is on the bike path. She sees a man jog by, and he's an older gentleman. And that's when she says, too much exercise isn't good because, runners actually pass away earlier because they push their body too hard with too much exercise, according to Chantal. And she then talks about how uncomfortable it makes her when she sees other people, like on this bike path, because you never know what could happen. So it's kind of a good thing, like in the Middle East, how the women do not speak to men that they don't know at all, because it's just safer that way. She always wants to infer that there's this terrible danger all around her. She even made a comment that her building is the projects. Excuse me? You're paying $2,000-something a month in rent. That is no projects, honey. You have a whole gym. You have a concierge. I don't know what kind of projects she's been in, but not the kind I'm accustomed to. And then she also claims that she hopes to enjoy walking again someday. She wants to enjoy walking again someday. She hasn't enjoyed walking in at least 30 years. So you mean to tell me that from the time Chantal was 12, she hated walking? It was hard for her to walk at the age of 12? That's a failure. If that's true, that's a failure on her family's part. Because if they had seen she was having terrible mobility issues at the age of 12, They should have stepped in. But this is Chantal we're talking about, so we don't know how much of this is truth and how much is lies. So she then she just talks about she was watching Zio over on Fire, and she thinks she's giving us this juiciest tea here. It turns out Zio really was talking to Emily, and she said Emily was actually pretty cool. We knew this last week already, Foodie. Where have you been? Because remember, Zio said she had been talking to Emily, but Emily had never DoorDashed her any food, had never sent her any money, only had given her a couple of TikTok gifts. But Foodie wants to make this out like this is just hot news here. I don't know where where Foodie has been. And that's basically about it. The whole stream was her scooting down this long bike path. Then she gets to sneezing, and her eyes kind of bothering her. Allergies, okay? Allergies. And she goes on to say how she's allergic to nature, and she doesn't have these problems when she's in the house sealing. Any excuse to get her big self back into that apartment and throwing herself down on that couch. I don't get it. We did not see BG. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering what's going on with BG. I don't think we seen her yesterday either, the cat. And you know, usually the whole stream, because Chantal has no content, is her screaming, BG, BG, and saying something in French to her, and get your chicken, where's your fish? And all this gibberish. So, and Foodie's content has been so bad lately that, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, if you watch reaction channels over on the tube, a lot of these reactors have even given up on covering Foodie because she's not giving us anything to talk about. Everybody's moved on basically to Quirky Love Rosie now, because at least Rosie is giving us something to talk about. We can talk about her bossing around Remy, her boyfriend, who's staying there right now. And we will be talking about that in the next video. But yeah, Foodie is giving nothing. And she wants to keep complaining about the reaction channels, how they are, how it hurts her channel. The reaction channels are really the only thing that's saving Foodie Beauty right now, because her views have dropped terribly. She's seeing streams on Kick where she is only seeing 100 people and watching her. She barely does any streams on the tube, and those, it's not good. Foodie's going to be seeing a sharp decrease in her income if she doesn't figure out some kind of content. So, I know, pretty boring, but we'll see if she gives us anything, today, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow.